In a league where a 65-game minimum for awards had to be instituted, in a league where the Cleveland Cavaliers sat starters not only from the entire game, but everyone that was good that was left in the game, they sat for the fourth quarter to lose to Charlotte and make sure they didn't have to play Miami or Philadelphia. The New York Knicks and Tom Thibodeau are forever. 120-119, your final score as the Knicks take down the Chicago Bulls right here at Madison Square Garden. And it was quite the event here at the world's most famous arena. Nikola Vucevic, 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. Alex Caruso, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals. And DeMar DeRozan, 30 points, 5 assists, 4 steals of his own. Just such an impressive set of performances for the Chicago Bulls. But for New York, it was another 40-point game for Jalen Brunson on 14 of 30 shooting. He just had a 5-game streak of scoring 35 points or more. Coming into today, he had scored 30 points in 9 of his last 10, and now a 40-point performance to help lead the Knicks in overtime over Chicago, who, by the way, was playing for nothing besides pride. Kudos to the Bulls for showing out and showing up at the Garden today, playing their best players and going hard for a win. It was the extra period that the Knicks needed to eke out the 1-point advantage to send them home with 50 wins on the season and as the NBA's number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Such an impressive feat for them to have accomplished this soon into their rebuild. Tom Thibodeau, when he was hired, a lot of fans said there's not going to be a rebuild, and there wasn't one for very long. It took 2 All-NBA performances from Julius Randle. It took the acquisition of Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hartenstein, Dante DiVincenzo now, more recently, OG Anunoby, Bojan Bogdanovic, you name it, the Knicks are here and ready to stay atop the NBA's Eastern Conference. Just such an impressive game from them. Mitchell Robinson, unavailable in the second half. Thibodeau told media after the game that it was because the medical staff informed him Robinson would be unavailable, but that it was just precautionary ahead of these playoffs. Now, for New York, they'll be playing Philadelphia or Miami, whoever takes that play-in series. A lot of people think it'll be Philadelphia, given that when he's been on the court, Joel Embiid has been the league's best player thus far this season. But certainly the Miami Heat, their new acquisitions of Terry Rozier and DeLon Wright will have a lot to say about that. And the Knicks and the Heat have a testy history going back to the 90s, but especially recently. Randle needing to hit the Mike Breen double bang three-pointer to win that game over them. The teams matching up in the playoffs, Miami knocking the Knicks off, and now this year, Miami being the team that Julius Randle got injured against as he drove in aggressively on Jaime Jaquez Jr. Just such a storied rivalry between these two franchises that seems to have new bullet points added to it every season. This one definitely included. So whether the Knicks have to take on arguably the best player in the league in 2024 or one of their greatest historical rivals, it's going to be one heck of a first-round playoff series here at Madison Square Garden that the Knicks will host. They'll have home court advantage in the Eastern Conference playoffs against anyone but the Boston Celtics, and that's quite impressive for New York, again, for the reasons stated, how quick the rebuild was, how they acquired that talent, the fact that they still have a surplus of first-round picks available to them in the future. They landed OG Anunoby using homegrown talent, and he ended up being the perfect complement to their 2 All-NBA caliber guys. Now, Jalen Brunson vying for a spot on the All-NBA first team certainly helped his case today with the 40 bomb, but other than that, even if today didn't happen, I think he deserved that spot over the Celtics' Jason Tatum. Brunson has been the driving force behind the Knicks' success this year, even in an injury-laden season that's seen Julius Randle and OG Anunoby spend lots of time on the sidelines, Mitchell Robinson months on the sidelines, and Isaiah Hartenstein stepping up into that center role is going to be huge for New York. He's Brunson's release valve in pick-and-roll coverage, and that to me is so important. He and Dante DiVincenzo are the offensive X factors. Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, the defensive X factors for the Knicks, not only in the first round of the playoffs, but throughout them entirely. We'll see how far the Knicks can go, and we'll have you covered right here on WFUV Sports. My colleague Colin Loughran and I are so excited to bring you this postseason coverage that begins as soon as we know who the Knicks are playing in that first round that will be hosted in New York City. So until then, I'm Kris Pursiainen signing off from Madison Square Garden, thanking you for tuning in and saying see you soon.